All right, lesson 3.6, multiply mixed numbers. Please write down this I can statement. I can multiply mixed numbers. If you need to pause here, you may, but I'm going to move on. So, talking about multiplying fractions. You can multiply, this should look really familiar. This is stuff we've been doing. You're going to multiply the numerators, then you're going to multiply the denominators, and then you're going to reduce the fraction as necessary. This step we just did in lesson 3.5, simplify then multiply, or multiply then simplify. And I'm going to be looking for you to simplify those fractions, okay? So, how do you handle a problem like this? 3/4 times 1 2/3. Think about that. Well, here's the good news. You can solve this with one additional step, and it's a very easy one to add in there. We just change our mixed numbers into improper fractions. Okay? So, I've got a fraction 3/4 times a mixed number 1 2/3. I'm going to convert this into a mixed number. How do I do that? Well, first thing I know is that my denominator is not going to change, so I'm going to end up with a 3 still as a denominator. As a reminder, we just take the denominator times the whole number plus the numerator. So I'll explain how that works. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. So when I convert this, I end up with 5/3. I bring down the rest of the problem, 3/4 times 5/3. I notice that I can simplify these because they both have 3 as a factor, so I'm going to divide both by 3, giving me 1 in the numerator and denominator. Okay? When I do that, I get 5/4. I'm going to flip that back now into a mixed number. That's going to give me 1 1/4. Now you could also choose to multiply and then simplify, and that would look like this. You can see I end up with 15/12. I'm going to turn that into a mixed number. I get 1 3/12. 3 is a factor of both the numerator and the denominator, so I'm going to divide those, and I still get 1 1/4. It's really just a matter of your preference for that. Either way will work. Just cuts out some extra work when you do it this way up front. All right, so now it's your turn. I want you to take these two mixed numbers and I want you to multiply them, carry them all the way through, and tell me what the new mixed number is going to be in this case. Okay, these are both fractions greater than 1, so you're going to have to, or mixed numbers, I'm sorry, so you're going to have to turn these into improper fractions or fractions greater than 1. I'm going to have you pause, solve this, and then when you're ready you can press play again. So pause the video and try this problem now. Okay. Time to go through the solution. So the first thing I did is I converted 2 1/4 into 9/4. Notice my denominator is still 4. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. That's where that came from. And then I converted 1 5/6 into 11/6. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 5 is 11. That's where the 11/6 came from. Now I noticed here when I looked at both of these numbers that they both have 3 as a factor. So I can simplify these now. So I'm going to do that to make my work a little bit less later. So if I divide both of these by 3, I get 3 up top and 2 down at the bottom. And now I'm going to multiply straight across. 3 times 11 is 33. 4 times 2 is 8. Now, when I get that all done, I get to 4 1/8 because 8 will go into 33 4 times for a total of 32. That leaves me 1 left over, so 4 1/8. How'd you do? I hope you did very well. All right, so here are your practice problems for tonight's video. You're going to take problem number 1, very similar to what you just finished. You're going to copy that in your book for your practice problem, and then you're going to do problem number 2. Okay, so we've got the puzzle penguin. So this puzzle penguin came home with this solution from the homework problem. Okay, so you can see it right down here. I've got 2 1/2 times 1 3/5 equals 2 times 1 plus 1/2 times 3/5, which equals 2 3/10. I need you to tell me, what did puzzle penguin do wrong here, and what should puzzle penguin have done to solve this problem correctly? I would also like you to come up with the correct solution when you do that, and we'll see you in class.